the biggest news that have been going around is Kyle Beach. If I'm not mistaken, this is somebody that you used to play against in the minor, right?
I played against him in junior.
Okay.
So he was, yeah, and this is, I mean, I'll jump right into it. This was so disturbing. I heard the rumors a year ago, when there was like, ruffling of it coming out and rumbling here and there, and you're like, okay, maybe something happened. Nobody came out. And then, I think it was Brent Sopel and someone else came out and started talking about, hey, this actually happened. And then when players come out and start talking, there's some there's some grounds there.
Yeah.
Like something must have happened. But nobody really, knew the real details. And when that came out, I was so disturbed. And first of all, just from a hockey standpoint, I always wondered, it's tough. You make a transition from junior to pro. It's tough for anybody. And on the hockey side, I always wondered. I played against him in junior, and this kid had everything. He was big. He could skate.
First
He could
round
score.
pick, right?
He had great hands. He was tough. They essentially drafted him. Like here's a power winger and a guy that's absolute nails that can protect Kane and Taves. At the time they were still 20 years old. Like it was. He was that guy. And from the hockey standpoint, like I'm saying, I was always wondering, man, like what happened? He didn't even get a sniff. He never played one game. And, on the other side of it, it just disturbs me so much that this was allowed to happen on all levels, and I've talked about it at length. When I was in Chicago, I really respected Stan Bowman, and I thought he was a stand-up guy, honest guy. He was honest with me. One of the most honest GMs I played for, and I had a tremendous amount of respect for him. And then you hear this come out, and it's like, man, how do you go from, okay, I told my upper management, or I told my president, or whoever it was, and you just let it go. And when you hear quotes from Quennville saying, we had to focus on winning, like, are you kidding me? That was so disturbing to hear. And I wasn't there long enough to know, Quennville on like a level outside of a hockey coach. But to be honest, it didn't surprise me that he said that. Just from my very brief time, and then again, I'm saying it's very brief.
Yeah,
he struck me as the type of guy that his whole life was about winning. That was it. Like he didn't care what was happening with any player. So I wasn't surprised to see that. And then you go down the line to the NHLPA, where Don Fehr comes out and makes this half-ass apology about how he let him down. I'm sorry. You have there's no excuse for anybody in Chicago's organization, the GM, the coach, the players, anybody. There's no excuse. Okay. But they had something to lose by coming out and saying something. The Players Association, you have nothing to lose. You come out and call them on it, and you stand behind them. You have nothing to lose. That's your job. And they did nothing. And he comes out and puts this apology out as if that's good enough. Like, I'm sorry. He needs to, I wasn't on the calls with the players or whatever. I don't know what's happening. Obviously, they're doing an investigation into it. But I'm sorry. You're fired. You're gone.
Yeah.
You're gone. I'm not surprised that it ran through Don Fehr, and he wanted to keep it quiet. And him and Gary seem like way too good of buddies for me too. Like, you work for the players, you're supposed to be against him. And so it was just like, I was so disturbed. And I didn't know Kyle personally, but like I reached out on Instagram, and we kind of went back and forth a little bit. And I was so disturbed. Like I just wanted to show him my support and say, look, man, like I'm so proud of you for coming out. I couldn't imagine what that would be like to go through. And you're just such a strong individual. And again, I've said it on Joe's piece. I said it on Pricey's. This is the stepping stones for not just hockey, but like male culture.
Everyone.
This is like developmental steps. This is what we need in the world.
Yeah.
It's a horrible, horrible, disgusting situation that happened to him. But this is groundbreaking. Like, this will help so many people, like all the support these guys are getting. I'm in a terrible situation. There's a, if there is a little ray of light, I think it's the fact these guys are getting so much love and support. And I was disgusted on so many levels. So that's my rant on that. It was just crazy.
I don't know if you saw the legal document. It's 107 pages long, and I read through most of it. I took one evening to sit down and say, you know what, we're saying we're going to make changes. So, I'm going to educate myself on what's going on. And especially with Kyle Beach's case, since we have most of the details now. So I read through all the graphic details of every single thing that happened. And I cannot believe that this was swept under a rug like nothing ever happened. And you still see it as the organization, Chicago right now, that's saying, it's going to go in court. We're still not admitting to anything, but you're going to go right ahead and scratch the pardon the expression, but this piece of shit's name off the Stanley Cup. So if you're ready to do that, obviously it's an admission of guilt somewhere, right?
I
So
agree completely. And
I don't get it.
How about the fact that there's, they're like, oh yeah, we're sorry that Kyle went through that. But again, it was like a half-ass apology, and
Yep.
there's no like ownership or anything. Like it's just, you think it's crazy that this came out, but the way it's been handled by the NHL and even Chicago is so
Pathetic.
poor. And you're gonna go in court and still try to like win a lawsuit over this? Come on. And I'm not saying it's right or this is what would make it right. It's never going to be right.
No.
He's always going to have some issues that when you go through something like that. There's no doubt about it. But you bring him in and you look at the average of how much a guy has made in his career at that position. Take your 11 overall. What is the average salary of a guy's NHL career? And you cut him a check for that. And you have counseling. You have all this. I know Gary came out, was like, we're helping him. You failed him big time. And it's, I just can't believe that the lawsuit is continuing to go on, and it's not like we're bending over backwards to do everything to make this right.